Thank you for coming to hang out with us. This is Gain and Glow, a happy lifestyle podcast with me, Vanessa.
And me, Crystal.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Long time.
Yeah.
Well, to record.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I feel like at first you're like, oh, we just need a little bit of a break. And then it was like, okay, here comes anxiety and depression and real life. So it was like a lot. I think a lot was happening at the beginning of the year. I think we were like waiting for, lockdown to be over and the sun to come back out. I very much felt like I was hibernating this winter.
Yeah, and I feel like the winter hibernation went on about 2 months longer than usual.
Yeah, yes, definitely. But we're here now, and I already have a dope quote for today's episode. This one is brought to you by Christine Evangelou, an author. Change is supremely inconvenient, uncomfortable, and naturally scary. Yet we only move through life through the process of change, reinvention, and renewal.
Ain't that the truth? I feel like it's such a good quote, like, to sum up the past year, going on, honestly, year and a half now. Ooh, we're 4 months into, 2021. It's, the whole thing has been inconvenient, uncomfortable, naturally scary. Yeah. But the only way to, get past it is obviously to move through it because it's time and constant.
Yep. So what are we going to talk to the people about today?
So today, we should probably catch up a little bit, see what we've been up to for the last couple of months, in our absence and silence. Of course, I have some pretty exciting news. I am scheduled to start my first of 2 vaccinations for COVID tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit about that, the process, how I figured it out. And then, of course, we've been cooking up a little something in the background quietly that we'll announce and get the ball rolling on, I think is a good idea today. Better now than ever, right?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've been a little resistant to change lately. I think part of it is honestly the weather. We were in Oregon. It's just so cloudy and overcast all the time, and it's been dark. The days have been really short, and so I've really been feeling the hibernating vibe, especially since I don't have to leave my house right now since we work from home. So even when I go to my room office, I'm like, okay, it's still dark. The sun's barely coming up. I'm not really waking up. And then the day ends and the sun's going down by the time before you clock out. And then you're like, okay, I don't feel motivated to do anything. So I was in a very real cycle of work and then Netflix, but not feeling like you ever really leave work because you don't do anything but work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I was like, oh, but I need to keep working out, and I need to keep, working on the podcast and everything else, and it was like, no. My body and my brain was like, no, you just need to be in bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, this past week, I actually decided to stop drinking coffee, which been a struggle. I feel like Portland is known for being a beer town, but also a coffee town. There's coffee on every corner. And I've been making my own coffee most of the time, but I noticed that I've started feeling more anxious every day drinking coffee than I felt alert, and so I was like, it wasn't making me feel better. So I was like, well, why am I doing this? So I listened to my body and my brain and I stopped drinking it. And the first day was okay. I just felt tired. The second day, I had such a bad headache and I didn't understand why. And I'm like, oh, duh, because you're not having any caffeine.
Your withdrawal.
Yeah,
I was listening to an audiobook the other day I think it's called Caffeine. And the guy was describing how he wanted to go on this adventure to like study caffeine and the effects on it. And he's like, in the morning, the relief it gives you is actually relief of withdrawal symptoms. So it's not actually boosting you. What it's doing is it's capping your withdrawal from yesterday's caffeine consumption. So it's like this vicious cycle. It's one of the most addicting drugs on the planet. It really is. I drink it every day.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I never thought about it like that. And in my exploration of trying to cure my non-coffee hangover feelings.
Yeah.
I was Googling, and on Healthline they said that that you tend to get a little dehydrated when you stop drinking coffee because you aren't replacing the liquid that you get from coffee with like water most of the time. So people don't realize they're just like, oh, I just stopped drinking coffee, but they don't actually drink any water. And then your brain is like a sponge, and it loses like if you get dehydrated, you lose water obviously in your body, and if your brain shrinks a little bit and pulls away from your skull, that's one of the headaches. That's why you're getting a headache. It's because you're dehydrated and your brain's a little dry sponge.
Okay, so I might be like 11 years old inside, but I immediately think of SpongeBob in the episode where he visits Sandy Cheeks and he's got no water.
Yeah, she's in an underground dome so she could have air. And he goes to visit her. She doesn't have any water. And he's just like, water.
Just slowly drying out. Your poor brain.
Yeah. So I started drinking more water immediately. And I've been chugging water like crazy. And I think day 3 I caved and I was like, I need something. I probably shouldn't have just gone hardcore cold turkey. So I made some chai tea. And it picked me up for a little bit until it wore off. But I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And then now I got some Pedialyte yesterday because I straight felt hungover. I was like, I don't feel good. Like I feel like I'm hungover, but I'm not. I know I'm not. I haven't been drinking on top of not drinking coffee. So I got some Pedialyte, and oh my God, it made such a difference.
Well, and part of the hangover feeling that most people feel is dehydration. Like, that's a huge part of it. And then, of course, the crash of endorphins. But it makes sense. Thank God for Pedialyte.
Yeah, right? And something else I learned about looking into not having coffee is that you shouldn't have coffee the second you wake up, which I think I was like, I normally don't. Because when I would go to work, I would wait till I get to work. But when I'm here, I'm like, oh, I just go upstairs, I get my water, get my coffee, I go, get to my office, and then I just start drinking coffee. And apparently, like, your cortisol levels are highest when you wake up. And so that's already stress in your body, and it has to process that. It has to process that because you're waking up, your system, your body's waking up. So if you start throwing caffeine on it, your body's like, I'm not ready for this yet. And so that's probably why my anxiety is like, your stress hormone's high, and then you're adding caffeine, and you have anxiety. So, boop, 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 alert. And I was like, shut up. Give me my coffee. Wake me up. So the article said that it actually wouldn't wake you up faster because your body still needs to process and lower your cortisol levels when you wake up. So they're like, it was funny because the article suggested that you could sniff your coffee. Like,
what?
You could sniff it. But
just give it a whiff.
Sniff it and then drink your water and then wait an hour and then you can drink your coffee. And I was like,
you know what that is? That's like giving your little addict brain a little taste. Hey, just smell it. Just smell it. It's there. Don't worry. Don't stress out. It's there.
You'll have
it's
it
funny because
okay.
And I don't make these addict jokes lightly. I am a recovering addict of, obviously. I say soft sobriety because I drink coffee every day. So it's not like I can be like, oh, I don't do any drugs. Yes, I do. It's called caffeine. And the smell of it makes me happy. So I trust this. I trust this science.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's mostly what's going on with me in my life. I've just been trying to, like, stop hibernating, stop feeling sad about things I can't control, and then now I have to stop drinking coffee, it's been rough, but I do think I've actually been feeling a little bit lighter, too, because normally right after I have coffee, I have my breakfast, and so now I haven't been having my coffee right away. I don't have my breakfast right away. So I think that's actually helped with my, like, waking up in the morning, which is interesting.
Nice. It's interesting. Taking the advice that we've been peddling for over a year now.
Listen to your body? What? Be mindful of your choices? Huh?
What? Isn't that weird? You know, it's funny. It's like extra funny because I've been doing the same thing. Well, not the same thing. I have not kicked caffeine. I've been very open about that. But I was realizing I was putting on some quarantine pounds and feeling a little less than happy, like, with a lot of different things. And I realized I was falling into quite the little slump of kind of giving up on my goals and letting things, you know, intimidate me. So I started food tracking again, but in a more serious way this time. This time I actually did it. Like, in the past, I was like, oh yeah, I'm tracking my food. Like, tracked breakfast, lunch, and then dinner was like, oh, I'm going to forget to track this $1,100 or 1,100 calories worth of McDonald's. $1,100? Jeez.
Like, are you having, like, late night shopping over there? Like, at night, after 5 p.m., I don't track my calories or my shopping.
Or my shopping. I don't check my calories or my bank account. It doesn't exist. Time is a man-made construct. Days are a man-made construct. But yeah, I started tracking my food, like, actually tracking, really noting every single little thing, and it's really funny. I have so much weird, like, internalized food guilt that I was straight up gonna lie to the app. I was like putting this is an app.
Are you using MyFitnessPal? I know we both like that.
Yes, I am. So, well, that one, it sold me because you can scan the barcode now.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
So in the past, I'll be honest, it was so cumbersome to, like, manually type in what I was eating that was the easiest excuse to, like, not do it. Was just, this takes too long. I don't have time for this. But now with MyFitnessPal, you can scan the barcode and just pop it right in. So, well, that changed. There's no excuse there. But I was
just gonna say, after, like, when it first launched, you could scan a barcode, but it didn't have, like, the data, and it didn't have the, like, camera ability, and now it's just so much better. You can scan, like, anything.
Yes, and there's so many things in there, like Starbucks, which is pretty much the only thing that I really eat or consume that I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find my shaken oat milk espresso. And it was in there. It was totally in there. But I found myself trying to lie to it about my portions. I was, like, clocking it, and it was like, 1 portion is whatever, and 2 portions is twice that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe it's more like a portion and a half. I'm like, well, okay. This is an app. It's not a real thing. We don't need to lie here. We're all adults.
I've done that too. I'm like, oh, this that many calories? Did I really have that much?
Yeah. So then I started, like, going a little bit over. Like, maybe I was like, well, it was most likely 1 portion. Sometimes I would measure, sometimes I don't measure. And if I didn't measure, I'm like, well, I'm going to be safe and go over. So if I think it was, like, 3 ounces of fish, I'm going to go with, like, 4 ounces of fish. Just to be safe. just to know I'm being overly honest right now to counteract my like initial want to lie to this friggin' app. But I've been trying to keep a closer eye on like the things that I'm consuming and how it's causing inflammation in my body. And honestly, I'm just in that early 30s doom loop of, well, all right. How much time do you have left and how good do you want it to be? Food is medicine.
Seriously,
so
I've been eating. I was ordering in a lot more and like just picking up food, and then I started doing it more consistently, and then I noticed like how sluggish I was feeling, and I wasn't tracking my food at all. And I'm like, why do I feel bad? Oh, because you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Yep. And MyFitnessPal too, it has the feature to track water. And I think it's funny you brought up dehydration, because I was feeling sluggish because I was eating garbage. I was eating a lot of processed like fast food and stuff for a long time, ordering in a lot of nights, and then waking up the next morning being like, wow, why do I feel so dumpy and gross in the morning? Like, not I'm not talking attractiveness right now. I'm talking like inside out. I feel gross. What's happening? It was probably all the pad thai. But I was also,
the pad thai
just
with the egg rolls and
yeah, just throwing a dart in the dark here. Probably the Texas egg rolls and pad thai, Kentucky Fried Chicken. But I was also realizing it became super, super, super clear that I was not drinking enough water, because when I was logging my water, I'm like, wow, I drink 24 ounces of water in a day. And I think that's like a quarter of what I'm supposed to drink. Yes. Now, keeping in mind, I wasn't calculating the 8 to 16 ounces of coffee, but in reality, that doesn't make it that much better. So I also have been increasing my water intake, and it's a beautiful thing what can happen to your glow.
Yeah,
when you actually drink water.
My skin's looking so much better. Like so much better. And I haven't been cutting out everything, honestly. Like, I think I kind of do like a day by day, and so sometimes I'm like, okay, all day I did good, and then the next day I'm like, nope, I'm ordering out twice a day. And so I've been having this horrible fluctuation where I'm kind of eating to my mood and not really to my goals. And I think that, but I've noticed just from like cutting back and drinking more water, that's already been helping. So it's like you have to create enough little bit of a motivation to like keep yourself going.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about balance too. I get a little bit squeamish about talking about losing weight, because it is one of my goals right now to lose weight. But that is like, I'm so anti-toxic diet culture that I'm almost afraid to talk about losing weight, because I don't want people to think that that's like a thing that needs to be a top priority. For me personally right now, losing weight is part of my goals. So eating for my goals rather than eating for my mood is something I have to be mindful of. But I am so pro balance. I refuse to like live this restrictive dieted lifestyle, because number one, you and I have talked about before, I've been in that cycle so many times before, and I'm still ending up in areas of my life where I revert right back to before the diet, or the 21-day fix, or whatever it is. So I'm like over that. Yeah, I'm over living those circles. So I think ordering in every now and then is definitely something you should do. And I've been so big on finding things that I like rather than cutting out things that I can't have. Like changing that mindset. I jotted all my thoughts down for a very specific reason that we'll talk about later. But it's interesting how tracking my food kind of helped change that mindset. It kind of helped change my toxic kind of like thought on, okay, I'm going to eat to lose weight and be skinny. That more into, okay, I'm going to really see how I'm reacting to these foods and how I do feel better when more nights are fish and white meat or no meat nights than steak. I'm cursed I'm curious. My husband makes amazing steak. So it's like the one thing where I'm like, all right, this needs to be a once a week type of dinner, not every night I'm going to eat a hunk of 8 ounces of steak. So, but tracking totally helped me kind of get more intuitive with my eating and realize, okay, it's about balance. Some days I'm going to meet my goals, and other days I'm going to skirt real close to not.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because...
How have you been feeling?
I've been feeling really good. I found like this nice, healthy balance of weight loss where I'm right now currently losing on average like a half a pound to a pound a week, which is... It's only normal for me because I am a little bit heavier right now. So it's, that much weight to lose in a week is actually kind of a lot. But that's where I've been at with totally just eating to meet my needs, not to like starve myself. So I've been really happy with it. I've been proud. I weigh myself every Friday morning and I'm like, boom, half a pound lost or a few ounces lost, whatever. Like I'm happy with that. So... And I feel good. I feel energetic. I've been running a lot lately. I ran a 5K, a virtual 5K. And I felt really, really, really good leading up to that because I was like hydrated and I ate vegetables. So and I've been really careful about my protein. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to work out when you feel like crap.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like, that's been some of my excuse for not working out is like, I won't feel good, and then I'll like go to move, and I'm like, no, I have indigestion. Like, I can't do this right now. So I've been trying to walk more, and then, yeah, I've been improving my eating too, so I'm like, okay, you can start working out now once you stop having caffeine withdrawal hangovers.
Yeah. I know, I realized, so... In the past, it's funny, our quote is so appropriate because I've done nothing but change since, even since we started this, because when we first started this podcast and everything, I was waking up at 5 a.m. I was going kickboxing at like 6 in the morning, then showering at work and running around, and, my day was like so chaotic and it was so early, and workouts had to be done first thing in the morning. I was like so rigid about that. And now I've realized that I work out in the evenings now. My core workout, I'll walk in the mornings or whatever on the treadmill, but my core workout's in the evenings after dinner because I know that it makes me make better choices. Because I know if I eat a hamburger or whatever halfway through my workout, I'm gonna want to throw up, especially if I'm like kickboxing. So I've changed everything. I work out in the evenings now. I'm not so rigid. Like I do different things, different days. I've become so much more lax. I went too lax for a little while. Now I'm trying to find the healthy balance. Not stressing about every minute is such a foreign concept for me. It's been such a weird like transition, but it's supremely inconvenient, uncomfortable, and naturally scary. However.
It's weird how much you like what you go through mentally even when you are like at home all day.
Yeah. It's changed so much of my day to day, but I'm happy, so it's fine.
I'm so glad that works for you, and that's stuff that we always talk about. So it's like great that it's working and that you're feeling better and that you're getting your routine, because it's like, the routine is so important. It's like if you I've read so much about depression and anxiety before, but they say
the experts
say that you should try to keep some of your daily habits happening no matter how you feel. So it's like if you always make your bed, just go through the motions of the things that you need to do for yourself, because part of it is when you don't do those things, at the end of the day you feel bad about not doing them, and then you're less likely to do them the next time, even though you think you would be like, oh, I felt bad I didn't do it, I'll do it this time. It's like, no, it just compounds, and you don't need to compound.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, should we tell the people what we've been working on?
Yeah, I think that if you survived through listening to us chat this long, you should be able to find out that we've been working on something super special. I mentioned I jotted down my notes about the food tracking. I also jotted down my notes about the virtual 5K because we are officially gonna be launching. Okay, let me try that again. We are officially gonna be launching. I have allergies so bad. Everything is blooming. We're launching our website.
Yes.
Round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited. I'm so excited to finally talk about it because this has been in works for months. Months.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. I know. I'm excited too. We're going to have articles up about things that we talk about on the podcast, and you get to see more pictures, and going to have a spot for all our dope quote imagery if you don't already see us on Instagram. We've been silent on Instagram too. We've been silent all around. But yeah, I was super excited.
I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun to have that new direction to go in, new goals and all of that. And it's going to be really fun to share even more with everybody, with all of you who listen to us. The website's gonna, like Crystal said, it has articles where we write about the topics that we talk about. It has our dope quotes are all there. You can find every episode of the podcast through the website. So there's so much there, and we're just so proud of it. It's like our little baby, and it's been it's been so fun building it. I'm really, really, really excited for people to actually see it.
Yeah, I kind of built it from the ground up. Vanessa was like learning coding and everything to help us.
Yeah,
functioning
turns out web design, whole new ball game.
Yeah,
but it's been
that's definitely been a big change.
Yes, that's another change. I have been taking on learning some new skills, actually dusting off some old skills. Fun fact, back in the day, I was a programmer for a call center. So, yeah, this was very different, but it's been fun. And I'm like, okay, we either need to release it or I'm going to keep tinkering with it.
Oh, yeah. I think we're always going to update it.
Yes. That's kind of the whole thing, right? You always continue to grow because, yeah. But the more you grow and evolve, the more you can boost your gain and glow. So.
Yes.
So keep an eye on social media. We're coming back with a vengeance. We're going to be posting all over the place. We'll start posting about the website once it's ready. And that I'm thinking that's within the next couple of weeks, right? I think we've got like a week or two to go before it's like live and there. So
yeah.
Keep your eyes out.
So I guess we'll just end this with your vaccine story.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So, also, I am getting vaccinated. I'm getting my first dose of the Pfizer vaccine tomorrow at 2:00. So, I'm going to document it, and I will be writing about it for the website. So that'll be something fun for everyone to check out. If you're curious, if you have questions, I'll make sure I have a lot of information. I think it's super important. I'm very pro COVID vaccine. I am dying to hug Crystal. And I'll be more than happy to share my experience afterwards and everything. So keep an eye out and an ear out for that, because I'll definitely be talking about that on future episodes. And like I said, featuring it on the website. So very excited and nervous. I'm scared of shots, but I have a 9-year-old, so I have to be brave and show her that this is what we need to do for everybody to keep everyone safe. So,
well, it's so good to be back, and I'm so happy that anyone's listening to this and that they're still hanging on. 'Cause we're hanging on.
Yes. Thank you so, so much. Drop us a line on social media. Follow us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Pinterest, and soon on the World Wide Web. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you find your podcast to stay up to date with our new episodes every Wednesday.
Also, head on over and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and say hello while you're there. And don't forget to drink some water, take a deep breath. You've got this.